Is there any questions now from the class that you would like to ask me?
So when you started up Entrepreneurship, like, how did you deal with the money situation? Because I'm sure you had to take out either credits or like get investments.
Yeah, so I have a service business. Service businesses are actually very non-expensive to get started. I think I took out like a $15,000 loan and paid it back in 6 months. You know, the businesses that are like, you know, manufacturing businesses or, you know, R&D heavy businesses, if you're trying to, you know, make a medical device and you have to go through clinical research, or if you have like a physical product and you need to set up infrastructure and you know, industrial equipment, or even a software product that requires, you know, a year or 2 years of development before you can actually release it and sell it. Those are the businesses where you need more, you know, cash up front to be able to get that started and get through that R&D and that build-up phase. Those businesses are inherently more risky because it does take so much more money to get started before you can even get customers. So it's not even 100% sure whether, you know, there's ways to try to validate the concept before you get to the end product, but until you really truly have an end product, it's not actually validated in the open market. So those businesses are inherently more risky, but a service-oriented business like mine is one where you could just literally be a single person, go out there, do the grind, sell jobs, do the consulting, do the strategy, implementation, and get money in pretty quickly. My first round at it took a little while to get going, but after a while, you know, we can go out there and close deals pretty quickly and get, you know, things ramped up and ramped down pretty quickly. So service businesses are a little less risky for that reason.
What was the biggest challenge you faced while starting your business?
Early on, I didn't have a clear focus. I didn't know what I was doing. I just kind of like, you know, I would just do what I thought was the right thing, but I didn't know how to measure properly. So, you know, lack of efficiency because of that, you know, lack of focus. So there's probably days or weeks where I wasted doing things that weren't that important.
Can you talk a little bit more about that in terms of how did you get the focus? Was it just trial and error? Did you talk to people? How did you get focus?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think after you know, like the failure thing, after you fail enough times, you kind of start to see a pattern. You know, some people might pick up on it quicker than others. My first go around, I was young, I didn't really know what I was doing, I was new to business, so I made a lot of dumb mistakes early on. But you know, the most important thing you can do is surround yourself with advisors. I have friends that have sold, you know, 9-figure companies, so I'll call them up and say, hey, what do you think about this? Or, you know, can I buy you lunch next week? I want to, you know, pick your brain. I want to show you some financials, get some thoughts that you might have. So, you know, surrounding yourself with people who have done it before and are, you know, have a proven track record, that's going to be, you know, the most invaluable thing. And there's a lot of people out there. If you get involved, if you network and get involved in the right circles, you'd be surprised. There's people out there that, you know, have you know, as I said, that have sold, you know, 100, 200, $300 million companies and are so willing to share their experiences for no cost. Like, they'll literally sit down and spend an hour with you and, you know, just kind of dump their thoughts and their passions out on what they've done, how they did it, how you could be doing things differently, and there's a lot of free advice out there. Anybody else?
How quickly did you reach your first milestone as far as like money, like 100,000?
100K, probably in the second year. Yeah, I think it was like the first year, I think we hit 90, and then the second year I think it was like 160, 170, something like that.
You said it was a service, so how big were your sales like per client, or were they smaller?
It was really small back then. Yeah, this is back in 2008, 2009, really
so
small.
Like the quantity of clients at first?
Absolutely, yeah. Like the average deal back then was probably 5 to 10K. Now our average deal is maybe 100 to 200K, so it just depends on you know, what we're doing, but the deal size is much larger now than it was back then.
What would you suggest when trying to develop a network of contacts, like when you start out a business?
Yeah, so that's a great question because the network and contacts are a huge part of being able to be successful. You know, get involved in as many things as you can. You know, volunteer at organizations where, you know, people that you want to know are also volunteering or working. You know, go out to meetups, you know, business meetups. Go out to you know, conferences. I travel for conferences a lot, so I'll go and see, I went to a industrial organizational psychology conference in Hawaii a couple of years ago, so, that was a great mini vacation as well. You can, also just, use LinkedIn. So LinkedIn's a great tool. I reached out to the CIO of the FDA a couple of years ago, totally cold, didn't know the guy, and he responded to me. So, I had a project that was involving FDA data and just took a shot in the dark and got a response from him. So, LinkedIn can also be a great tool for that.